Welcome to the KBB Review podcast. My name is Matt Baker, and this month's instalment of our special episodes around the KBB Review Retail and Design Awards is extra special. We are revealing the shortlist for the awards. Before that, a huge thank you needs to go out to our awards podcast sponsor, Sonas Bathrooms. It's great to have their continued support, as between now and the event on Thursday, April the 24th at the Blackpool Tower Ballroom, we'll be bringing you more special bonus episodes all around the awards and celebrate the very best talent our industry has to offer. You can find out everything you need to know about our awards podcast sponsor at sonasbathrooms.com, and I'll make sure that link is in the episode description. So, over the next half an hour, we'll be telling you who the 2025 finalists are for the biggest awards in the kitchen and bathroom retail sector. I say we, that's because I'm joined today by KBB Review Managing Editor and usual podcast host, Andy Davis. Hello, Andy. You couldn't possibly miss this one, could you?
I wouldn't miss this one for the world, Matt. This is the best one. This is where I really feel like we're kind of Tess and Claudia of the kitchen and bathroom awards world. I don't know whether you're Tess or who's Claudia. I'm not really sure.
I don't know. You've got more hair than me, so you can have the fringe of Claudia, maybe.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
And actually, doesn't everybody seem to listen to this podcast episode? I mean, we get lots of listeners anyway, but this is one that's a massive spike because everyone really, really wants to find out who
this is weirdly one of the biggest podcast episodes of the year that we do. And I can understand why. We get hundreds and hundreds of entries. They want to find out whether they win. And this is why it's such a best way to announce it. You can read it on a list, I suppose, but to hear us all reading it out and giving our little thoughts as we go along. Before we actually start, though, Matt, I have to, and I know everyone's annoyed now that I'm just talking too much, but we've really got to highlight the actual work that's gone into getting to this point with the judges. You've got to understand, we get all these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entries, and the judges go through every single one of them, and they score every single entry, and these are the top ones out of those scores. They have to go through so many of them, and to do it in such a short space of time, they really do work hard at this. So I really think we should all be very grateful for them for their time, because they give it all up very freely.
Yeah, and absolutely. And actually, they're very keen on sort of supporting the industry. Like the way they talk about it, they're not trying to catch people out or they really, really are wanting to celebrate what we've got. You know,
I'm going to let you into a little secret, Matt. They absolutely love it. They love doing it. Basically, it brings out everyone's nosiness. And you get to look at all these things and you come out the other end with the best ones. But basically, it's about being really nosy. They absolutely love doing it. The other big thank you before we get going is to our sponsors, and we're going to say who the sponsors are as we go along, but I can't tell you how important it is that we are very grateful to them and that we show our support to them too, because without that we couldn't do an awards. So I know it's very easy to be cynical about sponsorship of things, but they really do want to do this because they care about retailers and they want to show and demonstrate some best practice. So thank you very much to them.
Absolutely. So, right, we're not going to delay the announcement any longer, but you can find out more information about the awards and booking tables by visiting kbbreview.com/awards. Now, on with the show. Just a quick note before we begin. The judges all score the projects or businesses individually against each category criteria. So they don't work together at this stage. They're scoring them individually, and we add up all the scores, and the top scores become the finalists. So, are you ready? The official shortlist for the KBB Review Retail and Design Awards 2025. We're going to kick off with the design categories. So, Andy, it's over to you to give us the first set of finalists.
Well, you can hear me now rustling my bits of paper because, as Matt says, we add up all the scores and this is literally hot off my calculator. The other thing we should say before we get started, Matt, is we are reading names straight off the entries.
Ah, yes.
I'm going to caveat everything by saying if we pronounce your name wrongly, I'm very, very sorry. We will correct it in time for when the host reads it out as finalist. But if we say it wrong, we will apologise in advance.
Yeah, apologies.
Okay, here we go. The Bathroom Designer of the Year, project cost up to £15,000. This is sponsored by Impy Showers. And here are the finalists. Timothy Baber. Interiors by Timothy Paul in Ombersley and Worcester. Sophie Harold from Simply Bathrooms in Surbiton. Martina Landhead from Instill Design in Garsington in Oxfordshire. And Adam Woolerton in Bathroom and Kitchen 11 in Long Ditton in Surrey. Congratulations to the four of you. That's a fantastic result. Getting any bathroom project, quite frankly, for under 15 grand deserves an award. And so much of it is about cost management and project management. It's a real result. And of course, there's a few familiar names in there. Tim Baber's been in there many times.
Mm-hmm. But also, I'm interested in these the smaller project cost or the lower product cost categories, because this is where like budgeting and making the most of, I mean, 15 grand's a lot of money, but for a bathroom, you know, there's quite not that much you can do with that really. You have to really be creative.
And there's a lot of design goes into getting value for money in there. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that design is a big part of that end of the market. It really is. Right, Matt, it's over to you for the first kitchen design category.
Yep, Kitchen Designer of the Year, project cost up to £30,000. This is sponsored by Franca, and here are your 4 finalists. Liam Butler from Butler Interiors in Lower Bentham in Lancaster. Joshua Magin, Meadows Kitchens from Penzance. Scott Marks from House Collective, Durham. And our final finalist is Paul Morris, Archispect in North Berwick.
That's a really fantastic lineup. And again, the same applies for kitchens under £30,000. As you say, it's a lot of money. But to really design that properly, aesthetics is only one of the criteria we have in here, of course. But value for money, meeting briefs, this is all really important. And that's a great lineup. When people see the kitchens, when we actually put the pictures out there, they'll see why they're finalists. Right, let's move on to the Bathroom Designer of the Year, project cost between £15,000 and £30,000. This one is sponsored very kindly by Sycamore LED, and here is the rundown. We have Lee Collins from Bracco Designs in Stirlingshire, Shane Fraser from Stone and Chrome in Camberley in Surrey, Caroline Grieg from Ripples Winchester, and Sophie Harold from Simply Bathrooms in Surbiton. There she is again.
Ooh, that's 2 noms, as it were, for Sophie. Strong list.
Very strong list, that one. It's hard to describe this because we can't actually describe what the projects are, but when you see, you'll realise what a real result that one is. And that was a really hard one to get through.
As it always is, really, with these bathroom designs.
It's worth saying at this point, actually, that I've never seen it so close. Looking at the scores, I mean, literally the difference in scoring between the top spot and like the 10th spot could be a dozen points. And bearing in mind that the cumulative points are in like 250 to 300, that's really, really close.
Moving on then, Kitchen Designer of the Year, project cost £30,000 to £50,000. This is sponsored by My Dear Home Appliances. So these are our finalists. Lee Collins, Bracco Designs from Stirlingshire, again, second nom there. Manuel Fusco, Point 5 Kitchens in London. Doria Lopalco, Parker Bathrooms and Kitchens from Brighton. And our final finalist is Dan Strong, Jones Britain in Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah, another nomination for Lee there. That's a fantastic result to get a couple in. Can I just say, I like the fact you call them noms.
Yeah, noms, yeah.
I like that.
Award noms.
It makes me feel like we're in with the kids and I'm a 52-year-old man.
I'm not far behind you.
No, that's true. Okay, let's move on to the Bathroom Designer of the Year, project cost over £30,000. This is sponsored by Bathroom Brands. This is the third bathroom design category, the final one. And here are the finalists. We have Andrew Dawson from North Bathrooms in London. We have, Matt, Sophie Harold from Simply Bathrooms in Surbiton. Lucas Kedden from Alpha Tiles UK in Manchester. And Gemma Sloan from Banyo Design by LDP in Glasgow. So that, Matt, means Sophie Harold is nominated in all 3 bathroom design categories.
And we're not sure, but we think that has never happened before.
I don't think we've had the same companies. I don't think we've had the same person in all 3 categories. And I'm pretty sure as well that she hasn't entered before. So if anything proves that it's always worth entering for the first time, it's Sophie Harold. So far, the afternoon belongs to her.
Okay, then the final category of our designer categories, at least, it's a Kitchen Designer of the Year, project cost over 50k, over £50,000. Top 4, we've got Sophia Boone-Strand, Solar Kitchens in London. Tim Hyam, Hyam Furniture in London. Abby Lloyd, Evie Willow from Whitney in Oxfordshire. And Natasha Vergesjin, Poggenpole, Chelsea. Very London-centric, or at least south-east-centric there.
It really is, isn't it? Maybe we could probably analyse that just in itself. That top project cost category for kitchens is very, very south-east, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very much so. I mean, that makes sense.
Okay, so that is our designer finalists. Matt, what do you think of them?
Well, I'm quite pleased for Sophie. I'm sure she's pleased.
Yeah, she must be delighted and screaming right now.
But that's good to see. I mean, sometimes I feel like maybe it should be, spaced out. But if the design's good enough, So I'm glad, actually.
The scoring never lies, Matt. The scoring never lies. As you said at the beginning, the judges are all scoring independently of each other. So it's not even like there's a big discussion going on at this stage. That's what happens at the next stage. Mm-hmm. But I want to emphasize again, really, I've been doing these awards now for a very long time. And I've never seen a standard as high as this. And because the way the market's been, I always get quite gloomy and expect that it's all going to be a bit miserable. The number of entries was as high as it's ever been. The standard was as high as it's ever been. And like I said earlier, the closeness of the scoring was absolutely unbelievable. And to put a cigarette paper between people is really, really hard, especially if you're looking at the 4th and 5th place. That's really, really hard to do. But as we say, the scores don't lie.
It's true, but I think, as you said, high standard and a bit of positivity as we lead into Christmas right now.
Yeah, look, and when you see the picture of these are fantastic projects. There's nothing consumer confidence crisis going on with any of these things. These are really, really, really strong projects, and I can't wait for the next stage of judging where we really get to pick them to bits.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations to everyone there. Now we're going to take a little pause now just to talk about the ceremony in April itself. The KBB Review Retail and Design Awards 2025, as I say, it's on Thursday, April the 24th at the Blackpool Tower Ballrooms, which, well, needs no introduction. We're hearing about all the finalists today, but on the night, we'll also give out our Special Achievement Award for individuals who have made an inspiring contribution to the industry. So massive thank you to Hansgrohe, who are sponsoring the award this year.
Now, for those of you that have been to the awards before, the whole evening kicks off with our big welcome reception, sponsored as always by Hetic. So thank you to them as always. It really does set the tone of the evening. They basically get the first drink in for everyone,
yeah,
right? Which is always a good thing.
We like that.
And of course, the Rising Star Award returns again this year. Now, you may have seen this slightly differently if you're a fan of this podcast, which I know you all are. We've teamed up with our sponsor Blum to find the upcoming stars of kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom retail, because successful businesses and industries are always looking for fresh, new, creative talent. It's so important to the future of this sector. But if you're waiting for the shortlist here, it's slightly more complicated than that, because as you'll have seen through the magazine, we are announcing the finalists month by month until the event in April. We started in August. The last one is in March. That's 8 people. And in April at the event, we'll crown the winner on the night. And of course, if you follow this podcast, you'll have heard our Rising Stars talk every month. So the finalists so far are Georgia Astley from Kitchen House Lutterworth, Alistair Glover from Alexander Kitchens in Hove, Melissa Halliday from Arcaspec in East Lothian, Izzy Huxford from Wilton Studios in Grimsby, Luke Niblett from Lux Kitchen Designs in Barwell, and Matt, I'm going to exclusively reveal now who our January Rising Star is.
Ooh.
And that person is Victoria Mitch, a senior designer at Chisholm Design in Surrey. So congratulations to Victoria. You'll hear all about her in the January issue of KBB Review and on this very podcast. So there we go. Good luck to everyone announced so far. We've got 2 to go, 1 for February, 1 for March. So look out for them. And thanks again to Blum for supporting this important award.
Yep. Also, on the night of the ceremony, we have a big grand prize giveaway. So someone in the room will win an amazing £5,000. I'm not kidding. We did it last year and previous years, and we're doing it again in 2025. All courtesy of our very generous grand prize partner, Schluter Systems. The event itself is certified also as a carbon neutral event, and that's incredibly important to us to set that example. And we are able to do that with the generous support of our sustainability partners, Rehome and ASCO. And also a very special thank you to our 2025 event partners, Carousel UK, Frontline, Installer Show 2025 and Neolith for all their support as well. The whole night is a fantastic evening for entertainment, networking and celebrating.
It's not for me, Matt. It's a bloody nightmare for me, if I'm honest. As I always say, it's like organising a wedding reception for 800 people.
Yeah.
But everyone has a great time. I'm very pleased about that. But it's a nightmare for us.
I know, the butterflies you must get before you even...
Oh, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
They're starting now. Anyway, you can follow all the extensive coverage of the night via our socials, of course, via the hashtag KBB Awards 2025, or maybe you'd rather be there to celebrate in person. Finalist or not, simply go to kbbreview.com/awards and you'll find everything you need to know.
I'm going to butt in at this point, Matt, to say that there is actually limited capacity at the Blackpool Tower Ballroom. Believe it or not, it is unbelievably massive, but there is a limited capacity. So genuinely, 100% genuinely, if you want to go, book it as soon as you can to make sure that you get your seats, because there will be a cut-off, because literally we can only squeeze so many people in there.
Okay, noted. So let's move on to our business categories of the awards now, starting with our supplier-focused award.
Yep, this is the Supplier Team of the Year, and it is sponsored by KBB Birmingham 2026. Now, this one is particularly for teams of people who support independent retailers. So this is still very much a people award. This is about hardworking teams of suppliers who make sure those independents get the products they need and the service they need. So here we go. We have the Hansgrohe UK Trade Sales Team, the Neolith Promoter Team, the Rockpunkt UK Sales Team, the Schluter Systems Technical and Training Team, the Sycamore LED Design and Technical Team, and finally, the True Blue Support Team. So congratulations to all those companies and all those teams. Like I say, this isn't a brand award, it's not a product award, this is for the teams of hardworking people.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good to see. The next category is Installation Company of the Year. This is sponsored by SenseTech, and there are 4 finalists. These are Adroit Services, Aylesbury, Dependon, Basingstoke, the Marble Group in Welham Green, and Unique Bathrooms, Brighton. So there are installation companies that are finalists for this year.
I really like the Installation Company of the Year category because it's a very trite thing to say, isn't it? But they don't get the recognition they deserve. When you look at the fantastic projects we've got in all the design categories, for example, someone's got to go in and install those things to such a high standard that they end up being nominated for an award. So it's great. I can't wait to find out who wins that one.
And moving on to the next category, and now we always get a good mix of known names and new names in the awards, but the next 2 categories, New Retailer of the Year for both kitchens and bathrooms, is all about the entrepreneurs launching new retail businesses. Now, it is incredibly scary starting something from scratch, but the industry always needs new blood, fresh ideas, and different approaches if it is to continually evolve. So Andy, over to you.
Yes, and I think particularly in a really tough market, which it has been for the last year or more, starting any new kind of business, everyone deserves an award, quite frankly. I wish I could give it to everyone who entered, because it is fantastically brave. But here are the rundown for the New Kitchen Retailer of the Year. It's sponsored by Alku Kitchens and Bedrooms. And here we go. We have Church Farm Kitchens and Joinery in the brilliantly named North Piddle in Worcester. I mean, frankly, that deserves an award. We've got Cutchin House in Hampstead, the Leamington Kitchen Company in Leamington Spa, and Turnwell Kitchens in Waterlooville in Hampshire. Really 4 fantastically strong businesses that I was really impressed when I saw their entries. Speaking of which, let's move on to the New Bathroom Retailer of the Year. This one is sponsored by Flair Showers. Thank you to them. And here are the 4 finalists. Bathrooms of Cowbridge in Cowbridge, man. In the Vale of Glamorgan.
That's helpful.
Beautiful, yeah. JJ Bathrooms in Wadebridge in Cornwall. Another beautiful part of the world. Callum's Bathrooms in Guildford. Would you describe Guildford as a beautiful place?
Yeah, Surrey's lovely.
It's got a lovely cathedral. You used it in the Omen. And Ripples Linfield in West Sussex. Congratulations to the 4 of them. Another 4 fantastic businesses.
Moving on swiftly then to our next categories. Now we're sort of sidestepping a little bit, as these are for the kitchen and bathroom showrooms of the year. This is solely about the showroom design and for one single showroom. So first of all, the kitchen showroom of the year. This is sponsored by Incinerator. Thank you very much. Diane Berry Kitchens in Prestwich, Manchester. Olive and Bar in London. Pog and Pole, Marlow. And Simple Interiors in London. There's our 4 finalists.
They are beautiful showrooms. I've visited an awful lot of showrooms in my time, as of you know. But every now and again, you come across ones like these, which are just completely unique and full of so much personality. Fantastic.
Yeah, whoever wins that really, really deserves it. So moving on to Bathroom Showroom of the Year. This is sponsored by Vitra. And the 4 finalists. Berry Bathrooms in Leyland. LPM Lee in Wigan, Soaks Bathrooms, Belfast, Stone and Chrome in Camberley, Surrey. there's our 4 finalists.
I know Soaks and I know Stone and Chrome. I haven't visited the others, but they're fantastic showrooms. But we've got to remember all the time with any of these categories, it's the of the year bit. We've really got to focus on. And actually, when I brief all the judges, I really emphasize the of the year part of every single one of these categories. You really have to have done something different than the last time we came to see you. What have you done with that showroom since the last time? If you see new names on there, it's because they're always moving forward and they're always developing. So fantastic stuff.
Excellent. And so now we're going to bring home the business categories with the prestigious Retailer of the Year Awards. Andy, this one's over to you.
Yeah, I mean, to be called the Retailer of the Year is really, really special. These are the last awards we give out on the night for that very reason. And there's some fantastic names on this list. So let's go through it. The Kitchen Retailer of the Year nominations. This is sponsored by AEG. And here they are. Alexander Kitchens in Worthing. Ashford Kitchens and Interiors in Buckinghamshire. Et Lorem in Reading. And Point 5 Kitchens in London. 4 fantastic businesses, more than deserve to be on that list.
Absolutely.
Now, what's interesting in that list, Matt, which eagle-eyed fans of the awards will notice, is there are no Scottish retailers in that list. And the Scottish retailers have dominated that list for a very long time. So that's going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top with that one. Okay, let's look now at our final category here today. It's the Bathroom Retailer of the Year. It's sponsored by Rocker. Here we go. Christian Andrews Interiors in Strathaven, Scottish. Lang's Kitchens, Bathrooms and Bedrooms in Inverurie, Scottish. Quarrybank Boutique Bathrooms in Wilmslow, not Scottish. And Thistle Kitchens and Bathrooms in Aberdeen. Now, do you remember what I said about no Scottish people in the kitchen?
Yeah.
One. There's a lot of Scotland in the bathroom one. So maybe there's just a lot of bathroom things going on in 2024 in Scotland. But again, what a list that is. That's a fantastically strong list. I'm very familiar with a lot of those names. Fantastic businesses. That's a real bun fight, that one. There's some and what's great about it is there's big businesses in there, small little boutique showrooms. It just shows really constantly, and I talk about this, I bore everyone to tears with this. It doesn't matter how big you are. This isn't about how big your showroom is, how much money you make. This is about just being a fantastic retailer for where you are and who your customer base is. And that proves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good stuff for Scotland coming through in the end then. And that completes the list of finalists there, Andy.
Yeah, and you know what? It's very easy to just kind of read a list out. Again, the amount of work that goes into producing that list really is all down to the judges. They work so hard. And of course, we couldn't do it at all without the hundreds and hundreds of people that send their entries in. And they're so detailed and they're put together so well that I wish I could give prizes to everyone, but unfortunately we can't. You can imagine how long that ceremony would be. It's been a really, really strong year. So close in so many categories. And really, when you see some of these projects, you see some of these showrooms, you read about these businesses, you really see just how brilliant this industry is and the people behind it, just how fantastically dedicated they are. They're all brilliant, and you can see why they've made the cut on these lists.
Thanks, Andy, for your input and reading out the finalists. I think the next stop for us is reading the UK votes at Eurovision. What do you say? I'm
up for it. If you are, Matt, you're the expert in that one. My vote's for Sonia.
Okay, the vote. Well, that's always the case, surely. Yeah.
So that's one vote for Sonia.
You can't vote for yourself, but let's not get into the technical.
And then literally no one else will vote for Sonia. At least you'll get one.
There you go. But also a big thank you to our awards podcast sponsor, Sonas Bathrooms. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you for your support again this year. So this is the full list of finalists that will go out on the website. It will go out next week. But at the moment, this is the only place that you can hear it and see it. So spread the word, send the links out to anyone who needs to hear it. And that's it. That was the complete shortlist for the KBB Review Retail and Design Awards 2025. But this is only the first stage of judging, reminder. And of course, if you want to make sure that you're there in the room when we reveal the winners, you can book your tickets now for the event on Thursday, April the 24th, again, at the Blackpool Tower Ballroom. It's going to keep ramming that home. Go to kbbreview.com/awards for everything you need to know. Good luck, everyone. Andy, do you want to sing us out with a carol or just wish everyone Merry Christmas?
Who's Carol? Is she on the shortlist?
She's a good singer, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I'll just wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I think we don't want to end this by me screeching at people, do we? Congratulations to all the finalists. Watch out for the emails giving you the official notification for what happens next, because as Matt said, this is only stage one. But for now, a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year.